Oh, okay.
I have to hit the record button to move on.
All right. So doing the Coming to America review, Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, Sherry Headley, Jermaine Fowler, starred and enjoyed by Wesley Snipes, Leslie Jones, Tracy Morgan, Kiki Lane, and the immortal James Earl Jones, and more in this sequel to 1988's Coming to America. King Akeem learns he is a bastard son in Queens from his trip 30 years ago. Needing a son to fulfill the role of his heir, he tracks down Lavelle Johnson of Queens and brings him back to Zamunda. There, he must learn to be an Asmoonian and is set to marry the daughter of Akeem's rival, Z. But true love conquers all, just as it did with his father. So you never saw the first one, is this right, Brenton?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
I never saw Coming to America in 1988.
I know, you and I have different. Eddie Murphy's one of my favorite people of all time. So what did you think, seeing this as kind of not fresh to this whole genre?
It's a movie that I watched.
Fair enough. It's gotta be weird.
It was you and I were texting back and forth. I didn't know, 20 minutes in, I was like, I don't know if I can even finish this. This is not anything. This isn't funny. But I think probably what was going on there was that was right when they got back to America. And there was probably, I'm guessing, this is conjecture, so you can say I'm right or wrong. I'm guessing that's where a lot of callbacks and kind of inside jokes were.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I kind of missed that. I missed maybe a little bit of the humor there, and I stuck with it. And by the end, there were some pretty decent laughs. I thought the story was really basic.
Sure.
The funniest character for me was Wesley Snipes. Was he in the original?
Yes.
No. He was? No? Okay. He was by far the funniest character in the movie to me, because he was so outlandish with his dancing and the way he walked and things like that. There were some other funny parts.
When Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall do the other characters, that's my favorite thing in both these movies. I love that. I think it's so funny. It's that's what Eddie Murphy is kind of known for now.
Sure.
If you're if you're in our, age group, that's what he does really the best. Because the thing you have to remember is he was a stand-up, but he did Saturday Night Live. He wasn't on there that long, but his characters are still famous characters from Saturday Night Live, and he's so good at doing this kind of thing. And that's just it was just, this movie was a nostalgia bomb. This wasn't trying to be, I was telling other people, this is not the best movie you're going to see, this week.
I enjoyed the comment about all we have in American cinema is superhero movie sequels and or reboots and sequels to movies that happened a long time ago that nobody asked for. I do appreciate it when a comedy like this is self-aware.
Yes.
Like that. I don't necessarily want that from a movie I don't know, Shawshank Redemption, but in a comedic movie where, I don't think it's a bad thing to poke a little bit of fun at yourself. But yeah, overall, I think that, listen, Wesley Jones. Wesley Snipes was very funny. I liked Tracy Morgan. Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall were fine. They really weren't even the stars. Jermaine Fowler was really the star.
Yeah.
Leslie Jones is terrifying. I am legitimately afraid of her as a person.
She makes everything.
She's so aggressive looking. Why does she look so aggressive?
Because she's big. She's and she's bombastic. But yes. I think the way I explained to her is she's the ranch dressing of anything. You might not need ranch dressing with it, but when you add ranch, if you're a ranch dressing person, which you are, she makes it
ranch
better.
Dressing, buttermilk and sadness.
I love Leslie Jones. If it was just you're watching CSI something and Leslie Jones comes on, you're this doesn't make sense, but it's gonna be better because I got Leslie Jones. She's so intense. She's so funny. I think a lot of it has to do with, she wasn't famous until she was 50. She literally,
She was on Saturday Night Live.
Right, but she was 50 when she was on Saturday Night
I
Live.
did not realize she was that old.
She's the oldest cast member ever on Saturday Night Live. And
wow.
Yeah. And so it's like she just is like I think a lot of it she's taking all this fame and just like I'm running with it now, baby.
Yeah, sure.
And going forward. I love her. This movie is just like I said, I mean, it's not the best movie you're ever gonna watch, but I think it's like if you've seen the first one, you're gonna like this one. I mean, there's zero doubt in my mind. And because Janie had never seen Coming to America, so we watched that and this like almost back to back. And she's like, she liked the second one more, just because. Yeah, she thought the story was better. It's only not like a great story in either, but the clothing was really good. I mean, there's like that.
Well, I did read that the clothing.
It's the same person that did Black Panther.
Yeah, the won an Oscar for Black Panther.
Yeah, her name. I had it and then I lost it. I'll bring it up. It looks so good. Ruth Carter. Yeah. So she did Black Panther and she won for that, and she may win for this. I mean, this movie looked great.
Yeah,
I mean, stylistically, it was just a beautiful, beautiful movie.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and that's the thing is like, I almost felt like, they did Coming to America with the number 2. I almost felt like it would have been more appropriate to call this Coming to Africa or Coming to Zamunda, because that's where the bulk of the movie took place.
Yeah.
And it was more about Lavelle's story coming from Queens to, a country that he's never known,
right?
Versus Eddie Murphy or Akeem coming to America. So
yeah,
that was just
I agree with that.
I would say for me, this movie is probably, from the standpoint of having never seen the original, this is probably a pass for me. If you're kind of in the same boat where you haven't seen it and you don't get a lot of those sort of callbacks and things like that. Not that it's bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's just not going to hit you as hard. Really.
Right. Oh, I totally agree. I feel like you're coming in this blind. You're not going to like that first 20 minutes. I agree with you. I think I even said to you, like, the first 20 minutes aren't like that great because it is just a lot of callbacks. You're like, is this whole movie just going to be a callback? And then it actually isn't. It is sort of similar, but not exactly. If you've seen this movie, this is 100%, watch. I mean, this is, if you haven't, but you like Eddie Murphy, it's a good one. If you haven't and you have like nothing, it probably is a pass. I totally agree with that because you're just going to be kind of lost. I really do think you're not going to really, you're not going to be in it early and then you might just kind of stop paying attention to it.
Yeah, sure. Amazon claimed that this was the most streamed movie since the pandemic started.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to call shenanigans on that. Those numbers, aren't verifiable.
Sure.
And I just don't think that that's true, sir. I just don't think that's true. Wonder Woman.
I have no. Yeah. It doesn't mean Amazon. It doesn't mean just on their.
I don't know.
Service.
I think that they were making the claim that it was just on everything, but I call shenanigans.
Yeah, that seems kind of whack.
Whack.
Yeah.
It's been another Brenton and Greg at the Movies at Home review.
Woo! Get your popcorn ready. Brought to you by LaCroix.
Unofficially.